Hi, everybody. How are you? I wanted to say how nice it is to be able to watch the premieres with you guys when they're uploaded. Nice that so many of you from the UK are able to join in. And I know I'm missing the right time for Australia, but I'll try to change it up a little bit so that you guys can do that with me too. So August is, man, it's fast paced. It's like, yeah, we gotta get going kind of thing. And today, while I'm making the video, we have Mercury and the Sun opposing Saturn, squaring Uranus. And so it can be like frustrating. We can feel like we're being stopped and probably are in a lot of cases. But the new moon in Leo looks very nice. It's still that same, Uranus square Saturn energy is continuing. The last one is Christmas Eve. So, really, through all of this year, we have that. And that's, of course, collapsing of the old and something new coming online, something futuristic, something that thinks about the whole, that takes the whole into consideration, what's best for all that is. And yeah, rebuilding something that, and this will have a lot to do with scientific discoveries, things coming on board with that as well, including medical, because Taurus is the physical body. But we've had a lot of discoveries about outer space lately. I don't know if you guys have been noticing that. And then a lot of things with climate change, of course. So I was thinking about how, all of the water, the melting, and Neptune going into that last decan, his decan of Pisces. And that shift, that we have coming, that's just talking about so much water. And I was reminded by Metatron that Taurus rules trenches, and trenches we find in the ocean. I mean, obviously, there are trenches on land as well, but I thought that was interesting that he pointed that out to me. And, Pluto in those final degrees of Capricorn as well. That's a big deal still. That's 3 more years or 2 more years now that we have of that. So, and the biggest, try to think back to like 2008. I was thinking that the biggest shift with corporations, obviously now that they're more and more going to AI, but not just that. It used to be that loyalty, if you'd been with if you were a customer with, let's say, a phone carrier for a long period of time, you could say to them, look, I've been with you for however many years, and that meant something. And now it doesn't really seem to mean that much. So that's one thing that's definitely changed, I feel, just what I've encountered personally. And I appreciate all of you, speaking of AI, that's been running YouTube. I appreciate all of you who have mentioned in comments that you finally are seeing me in videos again, because I know I blocked words. So Mozilla did a study and found that YouTube, and this is the AI, is pushing, what is most popular. So they were pushing a lot of the misinformation, and I had blocked a lot of the words that are in the misinformation videos. So I think that shifted. I didn't lose subscribers, really, just views. So I'm glad to see all of you back. And then so many of you have been going through and watching old videos and commenting on those. A lot of you are doing that. So that's nice too. But yeah, so anyway, let's talk about the new moon in Leo. So, Leo, in case you don't know, is the sign of the lion hearted, what it means to be fearless, to be in leadership, to shine, what it is that is special about you, what it is that you came to create, your own unique brand of creativity, to shine that into the world. Bring that for the rest of us. That's the opposite, the axis of a Leo Aquarius. Then you bring it to the collective Aquarius. And yeah, so with this new moon, it's going to be a lot about creativity and what it means to be a leader. Doesn't mean it has to be a huge group of people, but maybe just your own leader. He did point out to me, and I wasn't going to bring it up. I know I've been saying it so much lately, but this probably will be a time when a lot of couples decide that that they're finished. And we grow with soulmates for a season. And more, I think it'll become more common that we don't have like the lifetime relationship. Of course, some will always have that, but we do grow together for a season and then we move forward. And so a lot is happening with Venus in this energy, speaking to that. And where maybe our values have changed and we've just outgrown each other. And so there's not so much a coming together energy with this new moon. It's more a parting energy. And that's for friendships as well. Friendships, work situations could be as well, or business partners. Yeah. So I just want to go over the times. This will be happening on the Lion's Gate, the gateway. So this gateway, it's always astrological, by the way, the gateways. And it's actually Sirius will rise and be able to be seen above the horizon on August 11th this year. It's always different, but it is August 11th this year. So officially the Lion's Gate is the 11th, but that's also, in that same, like we're still in that full moon energy 2-3 days out. So it fits. So this is a new moon, or I'm sorry, I think I said full, but a new moon that will still be in that vibration when it actually comes about, when Sirius actually rises. And I mentioned in the last video that for the Egyptians, when Sirius would rise, that was the delta flooding. Okay, so it's going to be for Central Standard Time. It's 8:50 a.m. So we have a 5. And then Sydney, it will be 11:50 p.m. on the 8th. London will be 2:50 p.m. on the 8th. And so with the 5s, Metatron drew me to the Jung quote, "In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order." And, the way that the astrology, with that whole Saturn Pluto conjunction coming together was a lot, could have, did lead to a lot of paranoia and fear, because those are the lower vibrations of those planets. But now I think that a lot of people will start coming to, let's say, and recognizing the truth. He's saying a revelation. And that's the 2 Aquarian full moons that we're having will bring a lot to light for people as well, that we're having in this month, this time period, not in August, but in the period of a month, we have those 2 full moons in Aquarius. So that's good. And this is happening at 16 degrees and change of Leo. So then we look at the 17th degree for the symbols. And this symbol is a volunteer church choir sings religious hymns. And I loved choir when I was a kid, but I love listening to like the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. They have a lot of YouTube videos out. Those are fun to listen to when people come together and are singing and there's excitement. And, my church wasn't so much hymns, but coming together in a group and singing, and they're doing it voluntarily. So, and then the Omega symbol, which I did not print out, but the Omega symbol is about a squid, a giant squid, sleeping at the bottom of the ocean. And so when the Sabian is talking about, coming together, volunteering as a group, like finding camaraderie there, finding a common purpose, and joy, of course, is always a side effect of singing and music. So that's nice. And then the squid is sleeping alone at the bottom of the ocean. So the squid, he wanted me to point out that with the squid, they are a symbol of defense, adaptability, and creativity. And being underwater creatures, squid always, or sorry, often stand for the attributes of water itself. So this is really emotional, control, where we take control over our own emotionals. What is going on? Oh, it's because Mercury is opposing Saturn. I was fine speaking until the camera turned on. But yeah, it's, keeping our emotion under control. Like I said, doing what you're going to do, making your decision, moving forward, not allowing other people to bother us, and just kind of tuning out what's going to be going on. Because that first full moon that we just had, the Sabian symbol where the moon was about a sudden unexpected storm. I wanted to point out too, just to mention, that for the United States, our planet Uranus, so from the 4th of July chart in 1776, I used the Sibley chart. Well, Uranus is going to be in Gemini either way. But Uranus, the United States Uranus, is with the North Node and the asteroid Wuhan right now. So, that's important to note, that something is happening that portends, something of the unusual happening. Uranus is always something, a sudden change, or, fast movement, different, like a disruption. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm hoping that we'll find out who it was that leaked it. The naturally occurring virus, we still don't know. We don't have any explanation for how it came, to be part of the human population. So maybe that will, because this is a new moon, and that can play out for almost 3 years. I mean, actually, it can go longer, but hopefully we'll get some answers. So I'm hoping that is what that is about. And then the midpoint of Mars and Venus, who are both in Virgo right now. So, that's about taking practical steps with money, looking at challenges logically, and deciding what is the best move going forward, not rushing in, not having like a temper flare up, but just being calm and practical, and in dealing with issues that are of obstructions. But that midpoint is trine Uranus, and then it's also trine Pholus and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So again, this is crumbling patterns of some kind of pattern. Like, I mean, it's going to be different for all of us. People pleasing comes to mind, but food habits, just daily self-care ritual kind of issues, are like what you do 9 to 5. And also interesting is that Saturn, Ceres, who is about food and what is grown and comes up from the ground. It's where we get the word cereal. Ceres, Uranus, the Sun, and Mercury are all parallel by degree. And Ceres has moved into Gemini. So this isn't just what we're ingesting, like for nourishment, as in the body. It's what we're putting into our minds, what we're allowing to come into our mind. And just, really being careful, making sure that it's worthy of taking up space, occupying your mind. So being careful of what we ingest, and then, paying careful attention to how the physical body reacts. Like I've been saying, with Pluto coming in these last degrees in Capricorn over this next few years, a lot of people are going to find out, whether they believe in astrology or are spiritual. It doesn't really matter, but a lot of people are going to make discoveries about their gut and how their diet is affecting them. They've recently discovered dopamine is manufactured there in the gut. And I'm sure that's the tip of the iceberg for what they're going to figure out with that stuff. But also, the ascendant, which is at 22 degrees of Scorpio in the universal chart, is in a harmonious trine with the asteroid Saint Michael, who is in the 8th house in Cancer. And that is the ancestors. And then that is trine Neptune in Pisces in the 4th house, which also links the Cancer house, that also links with the ancestors as Scorpio does. So that is about, ancestral support. It really, because those are harmoniously working together. And I think of, Saint Michael, the asteroid Saint Michael, which is, by the way, 3990, if you'd like to look that up. But I think of him as the protector. So I feel like, we've got the ancestors' support and protection at this time for whatever might be going on. But that can also be because of everything else happening right now. Again, releasing like ancestral patterns, trauma. He's pointing out specifically trauma. Vesta, Saturn, and the North Node are all in a harmonious trine in air, in Libra, and Saturn and Gemini. So that's going to be about the balance of the heart and mind and how those coming together, then that is always reflected in our relationships. Like, is there equal give and take in the relationship? If not, then most likely we're having an internal argument over, between heart and mind. But with the squid at the bottom of the ocean, really like going within and going with he's saying gut or the heart, what is important to you? What do you value? Because Uranus and Taurus is not it won't be viable if it's something that isn't valuable for us. If it's something that we're just doing for another person, it's not going to pan out. And then Uranus. Oh, I already talked about that. So this is also a really good time, because of things I've already mentioned, to just do a financial assessment. Just like have some idea of, what our budget is for this or for that. Just overall. But the new moon is the inspiration to move forward. In Leo, it's always, like I said, about shining like what it is that's special and unique about us. And so many times people say that they know they're supposed to be doing something, but they don't know what it is. And when that is the case, whenever that is the case, we haven't spent enough time just being at peace and aware of ourselves, enjoying our own vibration, time alone, things that we enjoy. He's showing me like a sculptor with just like a blank slate, just a lump of clay. And it's really about finding out like what you want to do. How do you want to mold and shape your life to fit what it is that brings you joy? And when we haven't figured that out, it's just that we, need to spend more time going within. Really, no one can ever tell us what it is that we're supposed to do, because the whole point of being here is to. Sorry, my kitten is playing with a locust right next to me. So yesterday he opened the door and took it inside with them. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on what's going on over there. But what like brings us fulfillment and satisfaction and joy, what lifts our heart and makes us happy. So, and because of everything that's happening in Virgo, if there's a book that and Sirius in Gemini goes along with this as well. If there's a book or some project, any kind of project, especially artistic or something that came from you, that you set aside for a time. This is a great time to finish up unfinished tasks. Maybe take another look. Maybe you'll end up going a completely different direction. But he did specifically mention wrapping up things that we have like put down because we were busy with whatever, or maybe the inspiration faded. So maybe taking a fresh look at that. He's saying from a different vantage point. At least it's outside today. Um, and then, making headway, like getting that mind quiet. Today, with what was happening, Mercury was Kazemi the sun, which is a very, I believe, I better not say, because I want to say it's like 1.27 degrees, but you can look it up. I always have to look it up when I check that for people. But when a planet is Kazemi the sun, then it isn't combust. But that's just for a very brief period that the Kazemi aspect is working. When a planet is combust the sun, like when Mercury is combust the sun, as it has been these couple of days, our mind can just be like, especially squaring Uranus. And that's another thing with that. When I was talking about Uranus, the Sun, Mercury, and Ceres all being parallel by declination, just, next weekend, when this full moon is coming, if you can find a way to quiet the mind. This is also a great time to take up journaling. And he was talking about, speaking specifically to trajectory, and that the first step in toward the goal is as important as the final step when you finally reach the goal, that the way that you set out and what are your intentions. So setting the intentions, aligning the heart and the mind with the intention of what the goal is, and then taking practical steps, because now we're past when we're just thinking about it. I mean, unless you haven't quite got there. But we are putting practical steps to move forward. And, whenever all of this sacrifice talk is coming up a lot, think of that as just expending effort rather than sacrifice. Because it is going to take effort. Anytime that, Saturn is doing what he's doing right now with Uranus, we're going to have to put something of ourselves into it. But in order to do that, it has to be something that's meaningful to us. And he was talking about releasing baggage relationships, he called them baggage, like where it's finished and we're just playing it out. I don't really understand that, but and then I'm just making sure that I got everything. The inner sanctuary, and then quieting the oppressive mind, where we're so critical. Because when there are a lot of planets in Virgo, our tendency is to be critical of ourselves, be judgmental and critical of others. So really, taking that time, that going into the inner sanctuary and reminding yourself that you are enough, that there is provision for you. He's saying, as some people may, as this is playing out, go through change of job or, change in money kind of circumstances. And then envisioning the outcome too is really important. If you can take time this next weekend with the new moon energies, envisioning the goal and how does it make you feel when you reach that goal. If you're going into your imagination and seeing yourself achieve the goal that you want, but then you see your family's not happy with you, that's your subconscious alerting you to the fact that you think that this person will be jealous, or so and so won't like it if I have that much money, or I won't fit in to my group of friends. Those are little ways that we can get those pings, so we know what we want to be finished with. I want to mention that just because that happens on the 8th, and then the 9th, the new moon happens on the 8th, and the 9th, Venus opposes Neptune, and the 11th, Venus trines Pluto. So it really is a lot of breaking up energy on the 11th. And remember, that's the day of the gateway, because Sirius will rise then. The 11th, Mercury moves into Virgo, and he'll only be there until the 31st. So time is going to go really quickly this month. When Mercury is moving, that he rules cycles, and when he's going this fast, we always feel like time is speeding up. So those of you that know how to work with the law of time, you can, finagle that, finesse that a little bit if you need to here and there. And then Venus on the 16th of August will move into Libra. Hopefully, we'll have a more conciliatory atmosphere out there when Venus moves into Libra. And then on the 19th, so just before the Aquarian full moon, Uranus will station. He's actually at the degree that he's going to station all month, pretty much. But he will station just before, and he's ruling the full moon, Uranus, because he rules Aquarius. So that's interesting too for this month. So, yeah, but a lot of, it is nice energy. Whenever the sun is in Leo, there's just, a time to like figure out what it is that you love to do and take time to enjoy yourself and to enjoy what it is to being here. And I think I forgot to say that I had started to, that we incarnate in order to experience joy and to share that joy with another, to be joy. Really, there's nobody up there keeping score on what our accomplishments are. If we can just be in presence and be present, be happy, we're only, he's saying, accountable and responsible for ourselves, to ourselves. Nobody outside of us is keeping score and ready to hit us with the mallet. But yeah, for me, it was really spending time in the woods that every day that helped me to come to what it is that I wanted to do and come up with a plan. And there's so much wisdom. The trees, since vegetation started, those roots are here on the planet. We live on a star. We have all the galactic information that we need in the trees. And so you can, spend some time in the woods. It will really just help you to awaken. So, anyway, guys, I hope all of you are doing well. I love watching the premieres with you. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share this with you guys. And, I have some ideas coming up what I'd like to do next as far as classes or doing a 2 minutes with Metatron. I'm thinking of maybe a new moon or a full moon or maybe both kind of thing that we could do on Zoom together, but I need to wait and find out what's going to happen for my daughter with the school year. I'm sure many of you are in that place as well right now. So happy creating, happy moving forward, happy making headway. All right, everybody, take care. Bye-bye.